All right, here we go. Bam. All right. We find ourselves in the middle of a TvT between Oliveira and ByuN. They have been going on while we were in Clem versus Classic. I didn't even know. Actually, they had started when we were in Gumiho versus Dark. But here we go. ByuN pushing on forward, forcing Oliveira to pull the boys. This may even be the final moments of the game, by the way, because we jumped in mid-series, or just mid-game even, as Oliveira cleans up the push. He does lose 12 SCVs, but he does take down every single one of those tanks. What has been going on this game? I have no idea. we just jumped in. Ay. Again, ByuN is leading the series 1-0. He is ahead in this series, but he is going to be forced back here. Third CC is still annoyed. We can see Oliveira, he's got Stim, he's got 1-1 as well. Oliveira, after cleaning up that army, he has quite a little momentum going his way, and ByuN is up against the wall. ByuN, what does he have left to defend? He has a tank at the natural base. The main, I'm not too certain. We could try to drop into the main base as well if ByuN is not quite in position. There we go, as ByuN is just splitting up his tanks, trying to cover his bases. This is the upper semifinals. After this series concludes, we will be casting Dark versus Clem. As Oliveira pushes on forward, he does take some tank shots to the face. One tank will already go down, but Oliveira, he pushes on forward, gets on top of the tanks. We do have a Liberator across the map, but it may not even matter because ByuN, his natural base has been broken. It is compromised. A tank does siege up, and Oliveira has to respect it. He does back off. He does back off, but Oliveira, he's getting his third base up and running. ByuN still has his own third in production. So Oliveira, he maintains his economic lead. Still has his upgrade lead as well. But he doesn't quite have the army he needs to break that natural, so he has to back off. He will give ByuN some breathing room. He will give ByuN a chance at coming back. Well, I'm just setting things up. For this series and the next. Getting things ready again. This is being observed by the clean feed by the Chinese casters, the Chinese observers. So a big shout out to them for having a clean feed available. As we do see ByuN doing everything he can to harass across the map to try to come back in this game. 5 SCVs already go down, and with this Liberator in the main, another couple of SCVs do fall as well. Oh my god, 8 SCVs in total. Again, ByuN, he knows that he's down to base. He has to do everything he can here to just keep the economies as even as possible. As ByuN is now taking his own third. But behind this, Oliveira, he's working on a fourth that's on location, and he's working on 2-2 as well. Again, I'm not too sure what happened in the early game, but it looks like ByuN went... Basically, it looks like ByuN went for an all-in. Looks like he went for a 2-base all-in, and it failed. And as a result, ByuN is far behind in so many aspects of this game. But he's catching up. He's slowly recovering. Now getting into Stim. Now getting into 1-1. Now getting into his third base. He is clawing his way back in. Meanwhile, Oliveira, he does rotate around. He is looking to deny the third base at the triangular third location, but he hasn't spotted where it actually is. He doesn't see. He doesn't know. As ByuN is going to be moving out, a bit of a Hail Mary move. He's boosting on forward here with his tanks, getting on top of the high ground. And Oliveira's out of position. Base trade? We may just go for a base trade. As Oliveira's pushing into the natural base of ByuN. Likewise, can ByuN push into the third? He goes for the main. Ooh, a full medevac goes down. Brutal. Again, a Hail Mary play here out of ByuN. Trying to force the issue, trying to take control of the production. Meanwhile, Oliveira gets into the third as well. But I don't know if ByuN has enough. Yeah, the tank goes down. He gets pushed out of the main base. Back towards the third. Meanwhile, ByuN loses control of his third base at his natural. This is all that ByuN has left. And it looks like Oliveira is doing it. I mentioned earlier that ByuN has not dropped a single map so far tonight. Has not dropped a single game. But that's about to change. That should change at least. As the boys are being pulled, we have reinforcements from behind as well. Oliveira, he turns back around, surrounds the army, shuts it down. GG gets called. And Oliveira takes game 2, forcing the ace match. GG. Oh. GG, well played. We are going all the way to game number 3. Now, I could have tried to get into the lobby, but we'll stick to the clean feed. I will put my faith in the WTL observers. We'll put our faith in the our lives in their hands. That's what I'm going for. It's late today. It's late. But I'm loving the graphics. Oh, look at it. It's beautiful. We're getting ready for the ace match. Get Oliveira showing that ByuN can bleed. Can he even stop ByuN? Can he bring him down and move on to the semifinals? Oh, sorry, move on to the grand finals. This is a semifinals match. Can he make it all the way to the grand finals? As it looks like they're just getting the lobby sorted, getting it ready. We can take this moment to chill as well. And welcome back. We are diving into game number 3. I apologize for the extended break, but the issues have been resolved. In the bottom left hand corner, we have ByuN for Shopify. In the top right, we have Oliveira from CranKy Gaming. The ace match for the upper semifinals match. ByuN versus Oliveira. Oliveira, of course, being the most recent world champion in StarCraft 2, is the first player to draw blood and take a game off of ByuN. Meanwhile, ByuN, not happy about it. Has been showed he can bleed. He is immortal. And we are getting into our game. So ByuN is going for an economic opener. He's going for a Rax Expand, single gas opener from our blue Terran player. Meanwhile, our red Terran is going to be more aggressive, as we do have a double gas opener instead from Oliveira. Okay, so with this double gas opener, we should be seeing a faster factory. There we go, we have a faster reactor. Oh, actually, it's a double Rax opener here from Oliveira. Interesting. So, fun fact, for those who are wondering, when you open up 2 racks like this is a 2 racks opener from Oliveira. Basically, this is him being afraid and assuming that he was going to be proxied. 2 racks openers, hard counter proxy racks from the opposing Terran player. So this is a very safe opener here from Oliveira. Alas, he's not being proxied, so he rolled the dice, rolled wrong, but he will have an abundance of Reaper, so we can maybe try to flex that. And here we go, he gets across the map, is going to be dancing with the Reaper of ByuN. And who shoots first? Oh, as the Marine does join the fray, and Oliveira has to back off, waiting for his second Reaper to show up. The bunker is still a ways off, and can it finish in time? Reaper does go down. ByuN down to 2 Marines, but the bunker does finish up, and ByuN will hold on to his natural. He does hold for the time being. Oliveira rotating around behind this, just continuing Reaper production, going for a factory, going for Cyclones as well. No CC yet from Oliveira, as he tries to force his way up the ramp, and he will lose a Reaper, but no, he takes control. He takes down the Marines. Oh my god, what just happened? He pushed his way up the ramp, took some shots to the face, it didn't even matter. Now he's laying siege upon the bunker as well. Cyclone is on the way behind this, remember that. That's going to add so much more DPS to this push. Meanwhile, defensive Cyclone arrives here for ByuN. He will maintain this position. He will keep that bunker alive as the repairs are coming in. And Oliveira is still a little bit behind when it comes to the economy. He's still making his CC. He's still on 1 base. The pressure is still on Oliveira to break ByuN. To break into the natural and to maybe even kill some workers. Maybe even deny the natural entirely. So here we go. The Cyclone has arrived, but remember that ByuN also has his own Cyclone available as well. We do manage to get the lock on, but boys are pulled. We have the repair, and ByuN holds. And now Oliveira's in a really rough position. He's double expanding. He has to. Like, because of how late this expansion is for Oliveira, he has to take a third CC. Oh boy, it's a big risk to take. To rush into a third this quickly for Oliveira, but it's a risk he has to take. Otherwise, what else can he do? Behind this, Raven's on the way. Interference Matrix is being researched as well. For those wondering, you no longer have the disable available by default. You have to research it as an upgrade first. And it is coming out here for Oliveira as he races back home. Working on Stim, Ravens, third CC. And again, that third CC will help. ByuN needs up 8 workers. Like, that's that's the difference between a Rax Expand and the opener that Oliveira went for. So again, ByuN needs up 8, now 6 workers. So you can see Oliveira closing the gap. But here we go. We do go for a drop into the main base. Oliveira, is he back home? He is back home. He can respond. He can react. And how many workers will he lose? He will lose maybe... does lose 1 SCV. Only 1. As 3 Cyclones rock up, they take down the Cyclone of Oliveira. The rest of the Reapers have arrived though, and they will be able to shut down the Cyclones. Again, they are glass cannons, fragile units, and 3 Cyclones go down. But the drop comes back in. The drop does come back in. Auto turrets have to be used. Less than ideal. Remember, Oliveira did get the interference matrix upgrade. He, I'm sure, wanted to build up resources, build up energy for that disable. But alas, he has to waste that energy on auto turrets instead. Liberator rocks up. ByuN just non-stop here with his harass. But here we go, Oliveira. Likewise, he's not going to take this lying down. He does slip into the main base. We'll be getting quite a lot of SCVs as well. Focus is down 6, 7 SCVs. They trade blow for blow. But an even trade is not good enough because, again, Oliveira was already behind to begin with. So ByuN maintains his worker lead, maintains his economic lead. Behind this, Oliveira making 3 SCVs at a time, trying to get into 1-1. Still trying to catch it back up. You see Stim finally on the way for ByuN. Again, ByuN's upgrades are lacking a little bit, and will that be enough for Oliveira to overcome him? I say lacking a little bit. Actually, they're pretty on par. I think the only thing that Oliveira has that ByuN doesn't is Stim, and of course the disable. Here we go. As Oliveira lands his third, he's moving out across the map, looking to contain ByuN to 2 bases, and maybe even break into one of these bases as well. Here we go. Again, there's still a lot of pressure on Oliveira to get something done, to get damage dealt. Scans ahead of time. He's going straight for the tanks. Doesn't get disable. He will be able to siege within range, but oh, it looks like he's going to be losing a tank. Can he barely get the tank of his opponent? Looks like he'll trade 1 for 1, 2 for 1. Not a good trade for Oliveira. Oh god, the tank spread here from ByuN was just too good. It was just too good. Oliveira forced to back off. ByuN is just turtling up here. He's got his own third CC ready and waiting to land on location. Oliveira working on his 4th. Now you can see, because he has landed his 3rd CC, like he's caught up. Like, economically, he has now surpassed his opponent, but he's been losing tanks. So ByuN has the superior army. He has the higher tank count. And he bypasses. Oh my, he's going for a ninja base! Papi. Comes in with a double drop, takes down the tank, catches Oliveira completely off guard. And that's a kill, not a cancel on the armory. Oh my god, delaying 2-2 heavily here as ByuN starts up his own upgrades. ByuN popping off, delaying upgrades, sniping tanks, getting a ninja base, and landing his 3rd CC at the same time. He's doing it all. Oliveira, he was just catching up, Bob. He was finally catching up. He just can't keep up. And this is going to be really, like, I say, a really strong timing for Oliveira. Sorry, for ByuN, which is 2-2. Like, once 2-2 kicks in, he's going to be heavily up in upgrades. He can try to flex that, make use of that. For now, just going to be harassing with this drop play. Trying to keep his opponent on the back foot. Ninja base finishing up for ByuN. Oliveira's moving out. Now, Oliveira, the other big thing that he has, as we're even in upgrades 1-1, both players have stim, both players have combat shields. Oliveira does have 2 Ravens. He does have 2 Ravens. So even though Oliveira is down in tanks, he can make up for that with disables. Here we go. Oliveira moves out across the map. We do have a drop slipping into the natural base. ByuN is out of position. We could end up in a base trade. Yeah, ByuN doesn't turn around. He turns around. He does a turn back around. Tank is going to go down. Drop is being cleaned up. ByuN does lose his 3rd TC. Oh, the Ravens! No! The Ravens are overextending for a member of the Marines as well. But Oliveira does turn back around. He does maintain this position. And ByuN could not push in. What did turning around really accomplish? He wasted an opportunity that he could have taken. He could have gone for the base trade. He could have gone for at least the 3rd base of Oliveira. And he doesn't. And here we go, Oliveira dropping into the main. The Ravens are still available, but they take some hits from the missile turret. Auto turret to throw down instead, in a panic. ByuN comes in from behind. He cleans up the tanks. At the same time, Oliveira is taking control of the main base of the production. Disables the tank. And ByuN is losing too much. 15 SCVs go down. Remember, he lost his 3rd TC as well. It was killed. And Oliveira is able to boost the hell out of there. He scans ahead of time. He misses the ninja base, so he doesn't know that ByuN is still in a 3-base economy. Oliveira is not as far ahead as he thinks, but he is ahead. How the turns do table. Now the pressure is on ByuN to somehow do some counter damage. So here we go, 2-2. Now about to finish up here for Oliveira. He is catching up in those upgrades. I'm loving this. The Vikings are getting in position. The drops have been spotted. ByuN's getting ahead of time, looking for a drop that could even be threatening him. And Oliveira is soon about to max out. 3-3 starts up. Double starports as well. To get into Vikings, to get into Liberators, more importantly. There we go, we're making 2 libs at a time. We can make 6 at a time with those starports. ByuN, can he make some magic happen? Can he somehow outposition Oliveira? Can he pull it off? He's trying to force his way through, but into tank range. Ay, ay, ay. ByuN takes some big blows to the face. Tanks are sieging. Oliveira trying to get a concave going. Oliveira losing all of his Marines. A bit of a wasteful fight here from Oliveira, but he breaks on through. He gets on top of the tanks regardless. Oliveira will clean up this army. It was an inefficient trade from Oliveira, but, you know, a good trade nonetheless. A trade that Oliveira can afford because he's on 4 bases. We can see ByuN is getting his own 4th up and running. Not fully operational yet, but it's getting there. 3-3 still on the way. I assumed that all those starports would be for more Liberators, but no, we're getting to Ravens instead, which still makes plenty of sense because we do have that upgrade. Ravens are still play a big role here in this TvT. Oliveira still has not found that ninja base. Doesn't know that ByuN has been happily mining from it this entire time. It's keeping ByuN in this. Like, ByuN may be down 30 supply, but that base has paid for itself and then some. You see Oliveira trying to go for a big run by. Looks like he will get on top of the tank before getting the hell out of there. Also, Oliveira finally gets eyes on the ninja base. He does force it to lift up with that Liberator. So ByuN gets knocked down to 3 bases. But you can see the supplies closing. You can see things evening up. This is still anyone's game. Oliveira has certain advantages. Yes, he's up 20 workers. But the armies are still pretty comparable. Here we go. 3-3 is about to kick in for Oliveira. If he moves out, oh, he gets scanned. I was about to say if he moves out, then ByuN is getting ready for a backstab, but his main army is spotted. Oliveira sees, Oliveira knows. He takes a 6th base. ByuN just in position at the center of the map, hoping to maybe catch any kind of move out. Oliveira looking to engage again. He has Ravens for disables. He's got Liberators as well to siege. He can break this army. ByuN has a secondary force towards the north, and he could potentially manage to go for a run by as well. I feel like Oliveira's having a hard time keeping up with ByuN. And here we go. ByuN pushes on forward. He does force a cancel on the CC towards the north. It wasn't on cams, but it was on the mini-map. Here we go. ByuN pushing on forward even further. Has been spotted by Oliveira. Tank is gonna go down at the same time. ByuN pushes on forward. He snipes the tank of Oliveira. Just barely. So ByuN working with 2 armies. Both players are essentially maxed at this point. Oliveira has an upgrade advantage, but ByuN is not too far behind with his own 3-3, and now he's about to catch up. Fusion core is on the way. This is a little bit late when it comes to range, lib range. But yeah, it's crazy. Despite the disadvantages, ByuN he's reestablished himself. He has evened things up. And with ByuN's more mobile army, he's able to catch some tanks, catch a base. Again, ByuN is very marine heavy. Oliveira, he has more Liberators and Vikings. That's why he's having a hard time like maneuvering as quickly as ByuN. Yeah, as ByuN once again avoids the main army, he's going for a run by here on the right-hand side, gets another tank. Ravens are pushing forward. They do land an anti-armor missile. Oliveira, he wants to collapse on this army. Looks like he finally will. Again, Oliveira in a head-to-head fight, he wins, but ByuN has been avoiding these fights until now. He has been trying to avoid these fights. He's coming in from behind. Gets on top of the tanks. 1, 2, 3, 4 tanks. Almost every tank goes down. A big blow to the army of Oliveira. Great pickoff from ByuN. Oliveira pushes on forward. Trying to get on top of that triangular 3rd base as well. Disables all 3 of those tanks, but Oliveira doesn't have everything he needs here. It's taking a while to push forward as he's getting into BCs. BC production has commenced. Up the tanks once again. ByuN finds another tank, gets a full medevac as well. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, gets 2 medevacs. Oliveira's been a little bit wasteful here, losing a lot of units here for free. And Oliveira needs time, a lot of time to really make this BC transition work. At least he himself is harassing, but there are Marines all over the place. They will clean up those libs. ByuN being very active on the map. I kind of want Oliveira to get rid of some of these Vikings. Like, these Vikings they feel like dead supply. Another tank goes down. As a Again, ByuN's mass marine army is just out positioning Oliveira time and time again. There we go. This time Oliveira's here. The Marines, they stim on forward, pushing on top of the ramp. They get on top of the tanks, get on top of the Liberators. ByuN takes an amazing fight. Again, these Vikings, I feel like they're hurting Oliveira more than helping, especially when we're maxed. Like the Vikings, they do nothing, Papi. BCs are harassing, they take down a base. But ByuN is pushing on forward. Liberators siege, but Liberators, they can do nothing against all these Marines as they stim on forward once again, taking down the tanks, the Libs, Medivacs as well. ByuN takes down an entire base and 23 SCVs. This BC transition, again, it just takes too long. It takes far too long to really get going. ByuN now almost ahead economically. Maintains all of his tanks. ByuN still committed to mass marine. Oliveira trying to make the Sky Toss or the Sky Terran transition work. Does find a mining base. He has to avoid these Marines. Up. Oof. One BC goes down. Thankfully, the other doesn't. These are expensive losses again for Oliveira. Because it feels like he's just losing too much. It's one of those things where ByuN just has a really cheap army. BCs are coming in from behind. Yamato is not done. Bear that in mind. But here we go. The BC's finally coming into play. Taking down a big chunk of those Marines. They still on forward. Up. Don't quite get the battle cruisers. The terrain working against ByuN here. And now finally Oliveira, he's trading well, making use of taking up all the way into Sky Terran. Again, in TvT, mass BC is king. Like, that's what you want. We're not quite there yet. We're there though. We haven't hit critical mass of battle cruisers. Big anti-armor missile on the ByuN army. Again, finally, Oliveira, he's taking better fights. Okay, he's got to be very careful. He has to respect those Marines, but he takes down even more tanks. I would love a repair on these battle cruisers. They're so low. Top them up, Bobby. Top them up. Up. So Raven gets caught out. ByuN chasing the army into tank fire. ByuN bleeding out a lot there. Bit of a missed rally. Yeah, and it looks like this army has to be given up. ByuN is going to be getting some SCVs. He may even get the orbital. Oh, as the BCs clean everything up and not a single battlecruiser goes down. Big cleanup here from Oliveira. Repair your BCs, please. They're so low. But for now, he takes a massive lead. And ByuN is up against the wall. Again, earlier ByuN was avoiding the main fight. He was able to just dance around Oliveira, pick him apart. But now that he's been forced to engage, forced to fight this head on, Oliveira has been out trading, has been out, like, just out positioning. But there we go. 2 BCs go down. Ah, they never got repaired. They were so low. Expensive losses for Oliveira. ByuN is not out of this. Not yet. Once again, another run by, getting more SCVs. He may even get the base. He may be able to finish it off. Oh, as he gets 20 workers. Oliveira down to 26 SCVs. Even if he wanted to repair, he doesn't have any spare SCVs to repair. Oof. Meanwhile, it looks like ByuN is setting up an army towards the north. And Oliveira's not in position to defend against it. These Vikings are still alive. These Vikings make me upset. Whenever we pan to this army, whenever I see those Vikings, I get angry. They've been useless this entire game. God damn it. And I'm gonna eat my words when like ByuN goes for a doom drop and he loses a medevac. Speaking of, medevac is gonna go down. Marines, they still on top of the. They will still try and still on top of the BC. Don't quite make it though. Oh, as these tanks are caught out. Very efficient trade here from ByuN. He takes down 4 or 5 tanks. Ay, ay, ay. But here we go. The BCs are going ham. Oh, and GG gets called. It's just too much. The BCs, they trade too well. And despite ByuN's best efforts, he does tap out. GG gets called. Oliveira will advance on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Whew, that was a game. that was quite a game, Poppy. GG, well played. Oliveira does end up taking it in the end. Did have the better army. ByuN was starving out, didn't quite have his own economy to sustain himself, and did eventually run out of steam. But again, he went down kicking and screaming. Was not easy at all. And with that, we are getting ready for our next semifinals match. Here we go. I should fix this up. Bam, there we go. Oliveira does take down ByuN in the end. He will be our Terran representative for this tournament. But will we have another? Will we have a TvT finals? It's possible that we will. It is possible.